All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern. Here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We had our WWE Monday Night Raw review, and now we're going to talk about our WWE NXT preview. But before we get into any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and use this awesome super chat, these super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. So I absolutely love hearing from you guys during the show. So whether if you have a burning question or a hot take or a hot opinion in terms of professional wrestling industry, or just something you're dying to share, we are all ears. This show is about keeping the conversation going, keep it lively. We want to make sure your voice is part of the mix, so don't be shy. Drop your thoughts in the chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment or question gets noticed, why not use that super chat box? Just go ahead and hit the $ below the chat box, send in your message, and it's guaranteed to get featured on the show in front of millions of people. Plus, it's a great way to support our channel. Your super chats help us, help us keep the lights on, so to speak. Bring you even more awesome wrestling content that you love so much. We are so grateful for each and every one of you guys. Love you guys 1,010%. Who joins us here. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let the good times roll. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you are super awesome. And together we will make this show bigger, better, and stronger than ever. And if the super chat is not your thing, we also have the GSMCpodcast.net. Go ahead and click that link, hit up that tips and donations link, and just tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show, and also follow the show, follow the network, and just subscribe to the GSMC Sports Network, guys. I guarantee, give it the Eric Rodriguez guarantee that you will never, ever regret it. All right, before we get on to our NXT free, we got some chats here I want to address. Got the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Mazzano. I'm making a prediction. I'm honestly thinking Oba Femi is the next Paul Heyman guy. Ooh, that'd be pretty interesting. And not Braun Breaker. Most likely, sorry. Most fans are thinking based on that one segment that he had with him during his match with Melo. That's I think that could be true. Oba Femi though, that like he's a dog. Like if he debuts on the Raw or SmackDown roster, he could very much be a Paul Heyman guy. But like with Roman Reigns coming back to the bloodline and Paul Heyman, being embarrassed, being just, discombobulated, being destroyed by Solo Sikoa and his band of thugs. I don't think he's gonna let that go too lightly. I know he wants retribution. He's gonna hang with Roman. That's my opinion. I think he goes back with Roman to do that. With NXT moving to the CW, is there a possibility that we'll see NXT level up, follow them, and be the show in the time slot before them to show the future of NXT? That would be interesting. That would be interesting, 1,010%. It'd be kind of like a pre-show to the show, but then you can have NXT superstars from Level Up. You can have them, drafted or promoted to NXT because NXT is planning on being its own entity. But the superstars are still eligible for the draft. So that would be, honestly, I think that'd be a pretty good money idea right there. And also with Dakota Kai injured again, I'm honestly thinking what happens, with Julia's debut as a new member of the main roster for Damage Control. That's a good idea. I could definitely see that happening with WWE. Julia is a dominant superstar. Damage Control. You have Asuka out. You have you got Bailey was kicked out before WrestleMania 40, and now Dakota Kai. I thought they were kind of heading toward kind of like a babyface / heel kind of thing. But Julia debuting, that'd be pretty badass. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then did you see after Raw, they posted a video on WWE YouTube channel that Randy confirmed that he resigned with the company. I have not seen that. I have not seen it. I'm definitely going to check that out though, because that's 1,010%. That's concerning. Randy Orton, like we're going to talk about his contract status right now. So that's something that definitely going to try to keep tabs on as we kind of come moving forward. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some NXT. NXT, it's Tuesday night, so that means we're going to get some NXT action. Tonight, we're going to find out why Wes Lee shockingly betrayed the Rascals. I didn't think it was a good idea. I thought, having them together with this new collaboration between TNA Impact and between WWE NXT, I thought it was great to have these three guys together. I thought these guys were going to go, at least until they got to the CW. Maybe that's when they probably should have, broke them up a little bit. That would have been, pretty great. But they were just so fun to watch. They were so damn fun to watch. Wesley looked happy. He looked, he was electric inside the ring with Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel. But now you kind of see him on his own again, and like I said, I don't understand what he's trying to do. He's a heel. He's a heel, but for what reason? I guess is what I kind of want to think about because there's no way in hell he could be the Heritage Cup champion. There's no way in hell he can't even challenge Oba Femi anymore. And he can't beat Ethan Page, which would, it'd be interesting a match between those two, 1,010%. I think they actually do have some history over on TNA, but I don't know. I just maybe a little premature, for my liking. Next, we see Chase U challenge Nathen Fraser and Axiom for the NXT Tag Team titles. Rich Holland and who's that other guy? Duke Hudson. Duke Hudson. Andre Chase has normally teamed up with Duke Hudson, but Rich Holland is the one that lobbed. Oh, I think it's Andre Trace. Andre Trace. Andre Chase. I don't know why I wanted to mix those two words together. I blame my dyslexia. But it's I think it's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a good match. All in all, I've doubted Nathen Fraser and Axiom before all the time. Recently started rooting for them, and I'm like, you know what? I actually do not want these guys to break up anymore. Is this what it's going to take for Rich Holland to finally make to finally get everybody like Duke Hudson? Obviously, he has the trust of Thea Hale. I don't know. It's just like this storyline could go anywhere tonight. To be honest, like you can have Rich Holland be the reason why Chase U falters. You could, have Rich Holland, serve a purpose. You know what I mean? Or maybe he's trying to do something with Pete Dunne with on NXT. That could happen as well because Pete Dunne is back on NXT. Back and forth from Monday Night Raw. So that could possibly be a heavy possibility. But whatever happens, I've grown to like this team of Nathen Fraser and Axiom, your NXT World Tag Team Champions. Next, we're going to see Otis. Otis vows to answer North American Champion Oba Femi's Open Challenge. I like it. I like Otis's. I like his determination. I like his attitude that he wants to step up. He wants to prove that that Alpha Academy without Chad Gable could be, just as good as what, they were when he was there. They need that anchor. I think maybe the Creed brothers, I don't know if they, necessarily get involved, but I think this is going to be one of those matches where you're going to see potential. You're going to see Otis have the potential, maybe almost defeat Oba Femi for that NXT North American Championship, but kind of come up short. One of those matches, one of those matches where even if when you lose, you kind of win at the same time. Proving that Otis is a formidable athlete, a formidable contender within the WWE Monday Night roster. Because right now the Alpha Academy, like they're hurting right now. They're hurting. Like Akira Tozawa, also Maxime Dupree. Ever since Chad Gable kind of left them for dead, turned heel and stuff like that. Like it's not, it that was a huge reason why I was a little skeptical about Chad Gable turning heel. I was a little skeptical because I was like, all right, now you kind of had this faction come together. And now, now what's going to happen to these guys? Like, you know what I mean? Like Maxime Dupree is a great athlete. Akira Tozawa, if WWE kept the Cruiserweight Championship, he would be a damn good cruiserweight champion. Otis, part of heavy machinery, but then he turned on his man Tucker. Money in the Bank lost the Money in the Bank. The match against the Miz, like it just, I don't know, all this bad luck and stuff like I don't really see why. Another example of why breaking up a tag team just seemed kind of silly instead of keeping them together. Heavy Machinery was actually pretty damn good together. So let's break them. You know what I mean? But tonight could be interesting. Tonight could be very much interesting. Otis is fighting for a new perspective in terms of his his character and stuff like that. Next, we have Tony D'Angelo defends his NXT Heritage Cup Championship against The no quarter catch crews, Charlie Dempsey. You know, I feel good about this match for Charlie. I think this is going to be a great way for him to bring the Heritage Cup Championship back. This is going to be a good way for Tony D'Angelo to, kind of, and I'm not trying to trash on the Heritage Cup Championship at all, but I think he's a main carder. I think he's like a heavyweight. He deserves to be fighting for the NXT Championship or the North American Championship. Last week on NXT, you kind of saw him rudely interrupt Femi's, promo backstage at the end of the show. So, that may be like a foreshadow. I thought he was going to answer that open challenge. Well, obviously he can't because he has a match tonight. But I think it's looking pretty damn good. I think the No Quarter Catch crew needs this Heritage Cup. I think they need to go over to TNA and defend it. Kind of, because you had Jordan Grace come over with the Knockouts Championship. Like, didn't they weren't going belt for belt, but I don't know. It just seemed kind of cool. You know what I mean? So, that could damn near be a possibility. But yeah. Next we have bitter rivals Eddie Thorpe and Lexis King will throw down tonight on NXT. I'm not a huge Lexis King kind of guy. I gotta be honest. I like Eddie Thorpe. This is obviously the second meeting between the two, or is it the third? This could very much be the third meeting between these guys. But at that barbecue where they were looking for a DJ, Alexis King was like, "Oh, I'm the best there is. No one could, DJ better." But obviously, Eddie Thorpe used to do it, I guess, professionally. Don't quote me on that. I gotta fact check that. I thought I heard that before. I thought I heard that before on NXT, but like I said, my prediction is I think Eddie Thorpe gets the victory, and I think Lexis King once again throws a fit. Last time he almost shillelied he hit his hand, and it was just it was an interesting take. I got to be honest, but I think this is the last time these guys are going to face off against each other. Being honest, it seems like a lot of repetitive matches don't really seem like to be going the right way. Let alone trying to promote somebody like Eddie Thorpe. I feel like Lexis King is kind of like in the rearview mirror in terms of that. But maybe he finds a way to kind of leech onto a faction, kind of has that kind of ride him to the top to get him an NXT championship title shot. That could possibly be the next storyline. Yeah. Also tonight we might see Joe Hendry address Gallus. He did defeat Wolfgang on TNA Impact on Thursday, so we could have a Joe Hendry sighting tonight. That would be 1,010%. I love Joe Hendry. Like, he's so damn cool. He's all over social media. It's crazy. You can't even go on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook to kind of see say his name, man. He appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I just love that guy. He's so cool. So damn cool. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our third segment. We're going to talk about some WWE Bad Blood and a little bit about the Hell in the Cell matches. I'm going to give you guys some memorable Hell in the Cell matches that, kind of resonated with me. Obviously, if you had a Hell in the Cell moment, in your career watching professional wrestling, you're like, damn, this stuff's badass. Go ahead and drop it off in chat. Tell me how you feel about it. 1,010%. So hang tight, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me back. Make sure you stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.